evening and a warm welcome. I'm Griha and you're watching Viewpoint. The violent clashes that erupted in the Nuh district of Haryana on Monday have now spread to other districts of the state, triggering mob attacks in parts of Palwal, Faridabad and Gurugram. The most severe of them in the city's south, as houses and businesses of members of one community were targeted by another in Sona. The state was witness to a rampage that saw many vehicles being burnt, mostly in Sona and Nuh, and stones being pelted by mobs daring cops to stop them. A mosque in Gurugram was also set on fire and the imam killed, allegedly by a mob of 70 to 80 people. That's not all. Hundreds of families have left Gurugram Sona for safer places and internet stands suspended in the area. Bajrang Dal member Nuh Manesar's name has cropped up at the center of these communal clashes that broke out during a Vishva Hindu Parishad procession in Nuh, where 2 home guards were killed and more than 15 others have been injured, including several policemen. There were rumors that Nuh Manesar, who was booked earlier for the murder of 2 Muslim men, Nasir and Junaid, whose charred bodies were found in the Bhiwani district in the month of February, would be joining the procession. He allegedly announced the same on social media, and reports suggest that there were instigating posts and sloganeering that led to communal tensions between the 2 groups. As we look at Haryana burning, we ask, who is responsible for this flare-up? If it is not the police and the administration in the state, why was the preparedness for a yatra that is seeing its 4th year not foolproof? Why wasn't the bandobast better in Mewat from where it all began? How did the groundwork miss the stones that were kept gathered aside to be pelted on the procession? And why were the provocative slogans not gagged? And to top it all, when the Chief Minister of the state makes a suggestion in the middle of the still erupting tensions that all this is a part of a larger conspiracy, how responsible is that statement?
न केवल यात्रा पर बल्कि पुलिस के ऊपर भी उन लोगों ने किया, जिसके परिणाम स्वरूप यात्रा को भी भंग किया गया और बहुत से स्थानों पर आगजनी की घटनाएं हुई, गाड़ियां जला दी गई। निश्चित रूप से एक बड़े षड्यंत्र का कहीं न कहीं हिस्सा लगता है।
किसी ने जहर घोला है, किसी ने इंजीनियरिंग की है, किसी ने मास्टरमाइंड किया है। जिस स्तर पे एंट्री पे भी पत्थर रखे हुए हैं, छतों पर भी पत्थर रखे हुए हैं, हथियार भी हैं, गोलियां भी हैं, एकदम तो सामने आते नहीं हैं।
सोशल मीडिया पे किस तरीके से ये 3 दिन पहले ये माहौल बनाया गया, किस तरीके से उकसाया गया सोशल मीडिया के माध्यम से इलाके को पूरी तरह, और प्रशासन की क्या क्या जो कमियां रही हैं वो उनके बारे में भी कहा गया।
Let me take this across to my guests who join us this evening. Raman Malik, who's BJP leader, is with us on the broadcast. Garima Mehra, the Soni, who's a spokesperson of the Congress party, is with us. Also with us is Arvind Kumar Jain, who's the former DGP of Uttar Pradesh. And last but not the least, Hemant Atri, senior journalist, also joins us on the broadcast. Mr. Raman Malik, beginning with you. Very good evening to you, sir. What is happening in Haryana?
There has been certain incidents, and these incidents right now are being taken care of and they are being controlled. Once they are controlled, we will definitely be looking into who engineered them and who all were involved in creating this situation. As the reports available from various sources, the local MLA's involvement cannot be ruled out. Mr. Maman Khan or Mr. Aftab, they cannot be ruled out as per suggestions of local as well as other people on the ground. But this has to be investigated. These are very serious situations. We are looking into it. That is one part of it. The second is that was with the similar.
Can I come in on your first part, sir, Mr. Malik? The fact that you are making these insinuations that the local MLA, namely Mr. Aftab or Mr. Khan, their involvement cannot be ruled out. On what grounds have you made these claims, sir?
Because a lot of local people had called up that they are, after this incident happened, they said that for the last few days they had been giving statements which were not very conducive to maintain law and order, but to provocate people. But then this has to be verified, and this must be verified because they are respectable members of the Haryana Assembly. They must be verified, and one should not just accept that they are complicit in it, but then it should not be also ruled out because one of the statements which caught eye was that people said that indirectly the message was spread that Nuh would become the new Godra. So that kind of a statement is very scary, and that has to be looked into. If somebody is playing a trick, then it must be also that fellow should also be arrested.
Okay.
But then if that has happened, it must be looked into, and I am very sure that nobody, I must say, who is involved in this would be scared. There is a lot of gifts that await them, whether it is the bulldozers or other thing, they will all be waiting for them. They are being identified. Also, one must not forget that the pattern in which Delhi, February 2021 riots happened, or whether it was the last week the riots in Delhi with the processions happened, or this one, the pattern was same. The houses, the rooftops had stones, there were weapons available, there were masses which were accumulated, and it was well organized. So which again,
Mr. Malik, allow me to say that I am kind of appalled that you're making these statements in a very, very flat sort of a faced way, where you're saying that the bulldozers await them. Who's them? You are making a very, very communal comment that is actually targeting one community, and it is very, very apparent here. I would let me actually bring in Mr. No. It is a very irresponsible statement that has been made. You do understand that there are two groups who are being involved. You very well know, sir. Nuh is a Muslim-dominated area. It is a Muslim, and when you talk about instigation, sir, Mr. Malik, when you talk about instigation, have the instigations not come in from social media, not come in from the VHP procession where the sloganeering was done? Do we not look at both the sides?
Let's understand.
Okay, I will give you the time to respond to this. Let me actually bring in Hemant Attri first. Hemant, all these claims that have been made by the BJP here, by a member of the BJP, that there was instigation. Of course, we have ground reports that there were stones that were kept on rooftops. Don't you think it's the police and the administration that is completely at failure here, rather than one group that can be actually just spoken about in this case?
Grihaji, I am in 100% agreement with you on whatever you have said. See, whatever has happened in Nuh, it is one of the most unfortunate instances. What is the Chief Minister saying? He is saying it's a pre-planned conspiracy. My question, once the administration and the government were clear that there are certain things, there can be a violence, why were no preemptive steps were taken?
Yeah.
What was the administration doing, number one? It was a classic case of intelligence failure, administrative failure. You tell me one thing. There was a gentleman called Nuh Mewat. How this whole started, I was looking into your report. Your reporter was reporting from ground zero. There is a gentleman called Nuh Mewat, who is a so-called Gorakshak. None other than Prime Minister himself has barred these Gorakshaks, so-called Gorakshaks. You tell me one thing. He issues a statement 3 days back. And what he says, all of you come there, and we all are coming there. The whole episode started from there, right? This is the genesis of it.
Why?
The gentleman.
Let him make his point. Let him complete his point. Let him complete his point, Mr. Malik.
Please.
No, one second, Mr. Malik. Let him complete his point. You can come and interject once he's completed his point. Once he's completed his point, sir. Please.
His constitutional right comes once I complete, not before that.
Yeah.
Now, this gentleman gives a clarion call to everybody. Of course, he is very well within his rights to invite his people from his community. There is no confusion. But Was the Nuh administration, was the local police, was the intelligence agency not aware what his arrival can cause? The whole thing simmered up from there. Now, the local administration was not following all these Facebook posts, whatever they were going on social media. Nobody followed that. The issue became, the gentleman never came. That is a standard operating procedure. Yeah. And what happened is all to see. Now, I would ask one thing. This, as you rightly pointed out, just 6 months back, 2 youths were burnt alive. Burnt alive. This gentleman is still, at large. How dare he issue such a statement and he is still scot-free? Now the issue is the government, the chief minister, and see what the home minister was saying. He was saying that there is a larger conspiracy. You please tell me what for the government administration is. They are there to preempt such conspiracies. Yes. They are there to take land order before it arises. They are working out once the situation has happened and damage has already been done. My simple question is, have you ever seen Mewat from 1991 till date in such a communal clash? The answer is no. Why? Despite all those provocations in last 9 to 10 years, whatever have been done, in the name of Goraksha, what they do every day, day in and day out. You tell me, the local administration is there, police is there, Goraksha Kanun is there. Who these gentlemen are, who are they to take care of this Goraksha part? Who are they? They are the illegals, but I don't have any name for them. But they are the crooks who take land order into the thing, and they have a patronage of a particular political outfit as well as their supporters all across in the powers that be. Now, first thing is, what is Goraksha doing? Government is there, administration took care, law should take its own course.
What is all of this? Are we debating about Nuh violence or are
we are debating about Nuh violence only, and this is an important aspect that needs to be debated, Mr. Malik. Where is Nuh Mewat, sir?
No,
Mr. Malik, tell me.
Because of this Nuh Mewat, sir.
No, where is Nuh Mewat, sir? Don't you think that it all started with that? And why? Why, sir? Why? I want to understand why, sir.
Incompetence of Rajasthan police cannot be
to us. This incident happened in Haryana, and there was an alleged message that was posted on social media which is going viral of Nuh Mewat, sir. Where is he?
Police, not by Haryana police. The case is in Rajasthan, not in Haryana. The police of Rajasthan wants him, not Haryana police. Number one. Number two, one must understand. The right, if it was only Nuh Mewat, why were women targeted?
Mr. Malik, you are clearly putting it on record. Mr. Malik, you're clearly putting on record that whatever has happened in Haryana is not a problem of the Haryana government. The Rajasthan government needs to look at it. You have to also understand that whatever happened in Bhiwani, Mr. Malik, one second. No, this is my debate. This is my debate. I have the right to ask the question, so please answer the questions that I am asking you. Why should I know? You have come on the debate. You're supposed to be answering some tough questions. Why are you getting all rattled? February, it has happened. No, I'm not. In February, the incident happened in Bhiwani. The person who's responsible for the charred bodies of Junaid and Nasir is still absconding.
They have already been charge sheeted.
No, where is Nuh Mewat, sir? Where is Nuh Mewat, sir? What you are doing is you are saying that the Congress MLAs from... One second.
First, he was exonerated out of the charge sheet. Later on, there was some afterthought and whatever happened. Then it is the Rajasthan police who has to do it. But my larger question here is, were the women and children also Nuh Mewat, sir? Was the PS cybercrime Nuh also Nuh Mewat, sir? Why were they attacked? Why were shops looted?
Yeah, that's the question that we have also posted through this debate.
If he was not there,
that is the question that we have also posted through this debate. But you are trying to just set aside that one crucial aspect that is also responsible for the flare-up in Haryana, which is what is unfortunate. One second, let me actually give the other speakers a chance. Mr. Malik, you will get your chance to speak now. One second. VHP asked him not to join. VHP asked him not to join after the flare-up. He was not joining. Miss Garima, coming to you now. Raman Malik, you made your point. Garima, coming to you. There was a point that Raman Malik made in the beginning that the Congress MLAs from Mewat are the people who are in cahoots with the violence that has erupted from this place and now spread into various other districts of Haryana. How do you respond? Garima.
See, Raman Malik first have to understand that he cannot dominate the debate like this. Just because their party is in power, that doesn't mean that you will overpower other people. And thank you so much for showing him his place, because his statements are quite instigating.
There's no showing places, madam. We are just presenting facts here. So let's not put words in other people's... Yeah, so please make your point, ma'am. Please make your point.
Whatever Raman Malik said here was quite instigating in itself. Like, they don't intend to establish peace and harmony in the state, it seems. Because look at the CM's statements. I would suggest making use of your channel to Manohar Lal Khattar ji, that open your mouth in such a grave situation in a very sensible and sensitive manner. Whatever he's saying is sending wrong connotations.
I request you to not speak when other speakers are speaking.
Just a second, Mr. Malik. There are other people in the panel.
Mr. Malik, I would please request you to not speak when the other people are speaking.
India is not
only BJP. You have got your chance.
India is everybody. You got to listen to the opposition
Garima,
also.
Please complete your point. Garima.
Mr. Malik, you can't tackle people like this all the time.
Mr. Malik, unfortunately, I'll have to just reduce your mic volume. Do you want it to be like that? This is not the way how I conduct debates here. Please wait for your time, sir. Please wait for your time. Note down your points. You will get your time to interject each and every speaker. But please don't speak when others are speaking. I'd request you, sir. It's not a cacophony over here. Garima, please go ahead.
See, first of all, why the meeting between Manohar Lal Khattar and Anil Vij after 24 hours of the riots? Why? What were they doing? Were they sleeping all this long? And secondly, it is completely an administrative failure. It is the responsibility of Anil Vij, and ethically he should step down as a minister with immediate effect, because his statement is that there are some people who's trying to disrupt the peace and harmony in Haryana. If that is the case, sir, it is a total government's failure. What were your intelligence doing? What was your LIU doing? So come on, be magnanimous enough to come openly and accept your failures.
Mr. Malik, why are you acting like a repeat offender, sir? Please wait for your turn. I would request you again and again.
If she's going to lie, I'm going to entertain.
No. You do that when I give you the time to speak.
Is it your interview going on, Mr. Raman Malik? Is it your interview or a debate where everybody
please
has
don't
to
engage with one speaker. I would also request you to do that. Garima, I had asked you a simple question.
How to handle the goons of Congress. So I don't have a problem.
I asked you that there was an accusation that was leveled by the member of the BJP against the two Congress MLAs who belong to the Mewat area. And they are...
No, that is what I'm saying.
That's what I want to understand. Garima, let me complete my question. I want to understand that there was a VHP procession that was planned. This is the fourth time that it is happening, and it was supposed to move into the Mewat region, cross the Nuh area. There were stones that were waiting, gathered on rooftops to be pelted at that entire procession. Why do you think that was allowed? It's good to question the police and the administration. We ourselves are doing that, and that's an important question, and that's a huge lapse on part of the administration and the police. But when it comes to the governance in that area, and if at all there are accusatory fingers that are leveled at the MLAs from that area, which are members of the Congress party, by the way, how do you respond to that?
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. My MLA has already given the statement that the administration has failed in its duty to prevent these clashes and riots, despite being informed of the provocative and hateful videos since 3 days. Aftab Ahmed states categorically that we have been telling the police, we have been informing the administration about the instigating video, and also I'm telling you, I'm just quoting the ACS, that is the additional Chief Secretary Home, TVSN Prasad, who says the disruption of public utilities, damages to public assets and amenities, disturbance of public law and order on account of misuse of internet services by way of spread of inflammatory material and false rumors. This is what the additional Chief Secretary has to say. Now, who has spread the rumors? The million-dollar question is that the additional Chief Secretary should also come out in open and say that Manu Minister and his associates were the one who openly were challenging the people of Haryana that we will be present there in person in Mewat. And they were challenging and there were derogatory remarks to the minorities. So the
Garima, you are essentially saying that the information of the inflammatory comments on social media the administration, especially the police in that area, was made aware, and yet nothing was done about probably preemptive measures that needed to be taken, for law and order. Let me bring in Mr. Arvind Kumar Jain on this. Mr. Arvind, you've handled situations like this in the state of Uttar Pradesh. What you see happening in Haryana, accusatory fingers at the police, and the fact that there was a complete lack of law and order, and at least, bringing some semblance of law and order back into the state of Haryana, it is actually now spilled onto other districts. That's how bad the situation is, and it still continues to be that. A mosque has recently been burnt down. We are getting to know that the imam has also been killed by a mob of 70 people. All of these reports are really coming down to what is the police really doing, and how do you see the role of the police in what has happened?
Firstly, you are not very much audible, but whatever I could gather, I can say two aspects are there, in my opinion. Number one, attack of the local people on cyber police station. You must be aware that 200 parties had been formed to catch these cyber criminals, because Nuh was emerging as another Jantara. So I think the purpose was to destroy the record there, to destroy the police station, and that is why it was ransacked. Number two, in my opinion, there has been a terrible failure on the part of Nuh police and administration to control the riot. It was their duty to deploy force in such a manner. At times, when such situation is there, we used to make box-type formation. Force in the front, force in the back side, and on the right and left flanks. Drones should have been deployed, and search should have been taken of the rooftops on way of the procession. I think it was not done. That is why stone pelting was taking place at that point, and it was being done openly. Weapons were also there. When box formation is there and police is deployed, they are given orders that no provocative slogans should be allowed.
Yes.
No shouting of slogans near the religious place of the other community. All these things are observed. And in my opinion, when Nuh Mewat, whose activities are very well known throughout the country, when he gave the call that he is coming to attend the procession, Nuh administration, Haryana police should have been on alert. The security should have been beefed up, and if necessary, his entry should have been barred from entering Nuh and being a part of the procession. Had it been done, I think there would not have been any trouble. His name was there that he is coming and he will instigate the crowd, and he will create some trouble, because he is hated by a certain community which is very well known. Then effective steps, in my opinion, should have been taken by Nuh police, by Haryana police, and a strong contingent of force should have been there. And had it been there, I don't think there would have been so much of a problem. Minor stone pelting can take place, but it can be taken care of by police well in time. It was not done.
And it wouldn't have spilled onto the other districts, is what you're saying. Mr. Malik, now is your turn to respond. What explains this laxity, sir?
I would like to answer certain things. First of all, the open threats that Mr. Maman Khan had given in the Haryana Vidhan Sabha are well documented and videographed.
Please quote from the threats, sir.
It is not that they are not.
Please quote that.
That if any time Nuh Mewat sir happens to go through Mewat, he will be treated, and everybody along will be treated in a certain manner. Those videos are very well available on the social media also. Then, secondly, one must understand, if you are talking about Nuh Mewat sir anger, then you have to understand both the things. One, he did not come into the procession, he was not there. Second, why are they having an issue with Nuh Mewat sir? It is because of the cow smugglers and the illegal butchers and the people who eat cow meat, and they have a problem with him.
No, when it is about Haryana government's anti-cow smuggling act, why is Nuh Manesar headlining the law?
I need to come in here.
Please let me finish.
Why is Nuh Manesar headlining it, sir?
Let me finish.
Isn't he a murderer?
Thirdly,
I will give you the chance.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do about the videos which say that if the CIA police officers come into your village, hackle them, kill them, beat them, break their legs, and they are people who are actively involved in conversing and in help of these two MLAs.
Who has said that?
Also, there are videos which can be easily found on the social media. If you do not have, I will give it to you. Then there were cylinders kept in the road a night before, stating that if it comes, we know how to blow them and make them into bombs. Now those videos are also available.
Why did the police not do anything about that? When the videos were available, why did it, like Mr. Jain mentioned...
Every angle is being investigated.
No, what is the investigation going to do, considering the violence had now spread into other districts, sir? Obviously, there is a process, there is going to be an investigation. There will be an investigation. Why wasn't it stopped? Why was no preemptive step really taken?
The place that you mentioned in Gurugram, the place that you mentioned in Gurugram, that happens to be just half a kilometer away from my home, and I know there were not 70 people. Those 6-7 people who did that were prima facie accused in that, they've been already arrested and detained. So
but the state chief minister has said that there are 77 FIRs that have been registered so far in this particular
across.
I mean, how can you make blank? No. Yeah, I understand that, sir. But how can you make blanket statements that 7 log the, 70 log nahi the? I don't know what purpose will it serve.
It's half a kilometer from my house.
Garima.
It's half a kilometer from my house. I rushed there.
See, Raman Malik speaking.
I'm very sure on that. Garima.
Raman Malik speaking and standing in favor of Nuh Manesar talks about it all. Nuh Manesar.
You standing in front of Rahul Gandhi.
Several criminal cases.
Rahul Gandhi and
let's not digress. It's now her turn.
Nuh Manesar is a suspect of several criminal cases, and Raman Malik standing by him, beside him, or for him.
tells it all. And
the local people, let me correct you, sir. The local people claim to have seen Nuh Manesar in Mewat. Local people are claiming to have seen Nuh Manesar in the procession in Mewat.
As well as them, they both
have geographical position of Gurugram is such that, you know, it is close to the Delhi NCR, it is close to Rajasthan, it is close to the Delhi-Bombay highway. So it is going to send a very, very wrong message if we don't curb it here, if we don't curtail it here.
Your people wanted to make Nuh into
what you made out of Manipur. What you made out of Manipur.
Now is the time that I come in here. I would like to thank all my guests because this will not go anywhere. This is a shouting match. That is what is become. Garima, thank you so much for making that point, and Mr. Malik, thank you so much. What is happening over here is that the BJP is saying that Nuh Manesar right now is the responsibility of the Rajasthan government, and that shouldn't be one cause of concern when it is about the rage, the problems that have erupted in the state of Haryana. However, the Congress claims that he was seen in Haryana, in Mewat, in Nuh, and there is no truth or whatever, there is no support to that entire argument. How is that one person really the fulcrum of this entire controversy is something that we'd have to wait and watch for it to unfold. But what it has led to is several communal clashes that have erupted, that started in Nuh and that have now spilled out to the various other districts of Haryana, and it still continues to burn. And that needs to be the important question that we need to ask ourselves. We leave it at that. I'd like to thank all my guests for joining me.